sync it, so it's like
3. Okay. Claps. Okay. Hi guys. I'm okay. Hi. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Hey Hire Us podcast, where we interview our friends. We bring our friends and interview them and rant about why aren't they hired us? Because we know a lot of people who are super talented and unemployed. Yeah. I'm your host, Abigail Lee, and my co-host,
I'm Ariel Guevara.
Yeah.
I just woke up.
Oh my gosh. We're very new to this podcasting schemes. What is it? Podcasting thing. So this episode's going to be like really,
experimental.
This whole podcast is going to be very casual because we're going to be interviewing our friends. So, you know, it's not going to be question number 1. What brought you into the art? I don't know, something like that.
This podcast is basically a reason for us to hype up our friends, but also have the social the social interaction we've been craving
because of
for quarantine. Yeah. So, yeah.
I mean, I'm excited for next week's episode because we're gonna be talking to Caleb, and I haven't seen him in so long, and he was like, "You can just talk, like Zoom us me whenever you want." I'm like, "Oh yeah." Okay. But anyway.
So now this is an official thing.
It is. Oh, also, I just want to say thank you to, I just want to thank Kohl's. Just kidding. I just want to thank because this idea came out from me unboxing clothes mindlessly. Because I'm like, man, I've been listening to the Tablet podcast and other podcasts.
Yes.
And I'm like, man, I really want a podcast. And I'm like, what would it be? And because I'm unemployed and all my friends are like basically unemployed. I'm like, yo, they should be hired. And I like tweeted this idea as a joke. I'm like, hey, I should make a podcast, blah, blah, ha, ha, ha. And then it got like so many people being like, yeah, you should make it. So thanks to my job for being repetitive.
I'd like to thank my retail job.
Also Ariel, because she was always pushing for us to make a podcast, and also for everyone who was like, look, you should do it. So
yeah, making a podcast, I remember reading a post, making a podcast is the Gen Z version of let's start a band. So
yeah,
it's finally happening. I've been annoying Abby for months. I'm like, let's start a podcast. Hey, you want to do a podcast?
And it's finally here. But
yes.
Yeah. So I don't know how we do this. I
don't have the notes pulled up. We're literally just chatting.
I was thinking of having corners and like doing fun things, but we don't have to. But one of my ideas is like maybe we can just do it to our guests and be evil. But I was thinking of doing this thing where we have 30 seconds each to pitch ourselves through a rap or an infomercial style. I don't know if we want to do that, but Ariel looks very. She's like, no.
I mean, how would you pitch yourself?
Okay, I guess we don't.
No. Here's the thing: we're like talking already because like we know each other, but then those listening are gonna be like, "Who the heck are these people?"
That's true. Okay, I'm gonna make us do it. We're well, it doesn't have to be 30 seconds. It's just like you either have to rap or infomercial style yourself.
I can't rap.
Okay, then you do the infomercial style and I'll do the rap. No. Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
I mean, wait, hold on. How does an infomercial actually sound?
Do you know Shama, right?
Oh, those guys. Okay. Yeah. Context of this. I'm not like born and raised in America. Oh, so I'm like, I don't know what commercials here sound like.
Do you want to go first or do you want me?
Oh, you could go first.
Okay, you gotta give me a beat though. Give me a boot.
I don't know.
No boot. I can't do.
You just both do infomercial.
No, I want to try rapping because we gotta give an example. No, you have to give me a beat though.
What's a beat?
Just do boot. This is so bad. You gotta be consistent, girl.
Wait. Like, how fast? What's your tempo?
Let's do.
Dukes.
My name is. Okay, I'll just rap without a beat. My name is Abby Lee. I'm a story and comic artist. I started this podcast with Ariel. I can't do this. It's too
Oh my god, no. I got it for you. It's like, what did you say? My name is Abigail Lee. I'm a story and comic I'm a story and comic artist. I started this podcast just because of a tweet.
That's good. You might have known me for Storyboarding Club, which I also started. You should hire me because I work hard and also I don't know how to do this. There it is. That's the end. I don't know how to do this.
Is that 30 seconds? It's okay. What's my infomercial? So infomercials are like, do you need a character designer now? Oh, okay.
Basically that.
That's me then. Do you need a character designer right now? One who's obsessed with the ocean and is from the Philippines and does just not stop talking about how much she loves research? Then hire me, Ariel Guevara, right now.
At what number? Call.
Am I exposing my number on this?
Call 1-800-HIRE-ARIEL. And wait, there's more.
I mean, you can just follow me on all my socials at Yelly Draws on Twitter, Instagram, and find me on LinkedIn.
But wait, there's more. If you hire her right now, you would get a deal of a lifetime with just having her on your production. Okay, I don't know if this is gonna work, but if our guests want to do this, then they're welcome to it. Anyway,
yeah, that's true. But like, pitching yourself, that's the whole thing.
Yeah. Let's do it. Why should I hire you as the owner of Abby's Animation? Why should I hire Ariel as my character designer?
Because I'm a very driven character designer and I love research. I think research is my favorite part of the design process. Like every time I design something, I go ham with like even like small details about like history and stuff like that. I'm like, did you know that this fun fact influenced this button design?
Ariel, that's like literally my favorite part to hear from you though, because like I just miss hearing that, like because you never post this really online, or I know
that's my one flaw.
Yeah, I'm like, girl, you should make threads on your research because you always put so much thought into each thing, and like you always like she freaking like is like her room looks like a crime scene because she always puts like her sketches on her wall and like puts like tape connecting them.
Yeah, I don't know what show that is, but you know that meme of the guy who's like with the wall and then it's like the red string and he's like trying to explain himself? That's me with my designs.
Yeah, they're so cool. Like I could listen for hours of you explaining your decisions because there's so much thought and care into every single one. And that's what I feel like, I don't know, on your portfolio, it's hard to show that, like to hear that.
Yeah, that's a weird thing about like portfolios, I feel like, because you obviously want to explain so much, but at the same time, the people on the other end only have so much time. Mm-hmm. So you're like, wait, I can tell you more, but here's the thing.
Ariel is also like one of the hardest working people I know.
Stop it.
No, you work so like I remember when you got character designs that you had to do done, and we don't really recommend like
don't do this.
Don't do this, but that still really shocked me, the quality of work that you got done in a night. And you're always improving yourself so much out of any person that I know. You're always putting so much into your portfolio and wanting to do better.
Thanks, Mom. Abigail's actually my mom.
Everyone should go to Ariel's social medias and cheer for her, because I'm like I wish you could see what you look like from my perspective, because Ariel's always like, oh, this is so bad. I'm like, girl, do you look? Have you seen this? Have you seen yourself? Look at this. It's amazing. It's great.
Thanks.
There's no negativity allowed for any of our future guests. This is all about hyping yourself up and pitching yourself. You can't be like, oh, I don't deserve to be hired. No, that's not allowed in this podcast. You all deserve to be hired for all our future guests. You all need a job.
But then why should we hire Abigail Lee for Double A Productions?
Hello. Oh, hi, Double A Productions. My name is Abigail Lee or Abby Lee, and I think you should hire me because I'm a nice person.
Honestly, yeah, that's true. People don't give enough credit for like being a nice person. And yeah, here's the thing about Abby. She is the most resourceful person you can ever ask. Like, even if you ask her questions that isn't related to or storyboarding, she will have something. She will have a list of references that she will give you. Like, she's just an endless library of like, oh, do you need reference for this? Here are 5,000 links.
You're too kind. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I just really enjoy helping people out, and I'm on Twitter too much. I'm on social media too much. So I just want to help people not to be like that, because like people are always worried about missing out on blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, no, I got you. I'm here for you. And also like just sending stuff to you and Kristen and people like that. That's how I built up the resources. And Storyboarding Club really helped me keep track of resources. And that's another reason why you should hire me, because I feel like a lot of people know about Storyboarding Club, and I started with Lee because we were like, oh, there's no Storyboarding Club, and a lot of stuff is not really taught at our school, so let's start it.
But that's also such a good quality to have now that you, like, talking about it, because now that you mentioned having resources for like every person on the
the pipeline.
Yeah, the pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
So it just shows that you work well with everyone, which is good. Being collaborative is so important, because just from our very limited experiences of doing group films or like group projects, being able to work with a team is one of the most important skills you can have in your life in general.
And that's why you should hire us, because we have had experience of making a whole film with other people and working on projects with other people. So now we know things that can really damage a production, like, you know, file naming and things like that. And like just communication. Communication's a really big thing. And that's something that has torn apart productions, like, because of that.
Are we exposing?
We can't do that here.
No, we can't do that. No.
Ariel has suffered. So you give Ariel a production that she can thrive in and be happy in, because she deserves a place that she always puts so much and like has her files named down. She also gives feedback, like on a production, like on things that she has worked in the past, like when she's like, oh, this could be better. She has given feedback to the production being like, hey, can we do this, just to keep the pipeline going and making everything organized. So yeah.
Oh, can I add some random thing to my pitch? I just realized, just because in school, even though I'm a character designer, I've dabbled so much with backgrounds and learning how to like put everything together that I can actually see the like big picture
and things like that
when it comes to that. And like, so I have like those skills in me, like even if I don't know where I'm going with this, but just like being able to like see the big picture and being able to like relay information properly to the next person who's gonna need it, because I think that's so important.
Those are qualities of a good art director too.
No, for real, because like so to give context, like during my senior film, I was like, I've actually worked on more layout stuff and background stuff in school more than character design. So when I'm doing stuff now, I can like easily pick up and see like things, how they could be done easier, or like which ones should be focused on, or like clearly if like, oh, someone didn't put like didn't check their scale or put a perspective grid on this, because when you put in the character, it doesn't show up properly. So I'm like just thinking like from the different steps, it's like, oh, they didn't reference this from the storyboard artist, they didn't reference this from this person, they didn't reference this. So I just like kind of know my way around who to ask now, and and how to be specific, so that when I'm working on my own thing, I want to make sure to give as much information as possible so that the next person doesn't have as much of a hard time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. And that's something I was thinking, because like another idea I had for this podcast was asking common interview questions. And one of them was, what is your greatest weakness? And I feel like while working in my retail job, I could kind of see like what I need to work on more. And that's an episode I kind of want to do in the future, of like talking about like what you can still learn even if you're not like working in the job that you want. But moving on, I think that's something I struggle with, which is asking questions, because you always feel like especially in working where I do, when you ask a question, it's on the radio and every single person can hear. So I'm always afraid of asking dumb questions because you don't want to look stupid. And I've had times where I've like paced around getting kind of anxious because a customer asked this question and I'm like, it's kind of stupid in my opinion. I'm like, should I ask or should I not? Or should I ask or should I not? And then I ask, and everyone's like really kind, and they're like, yeah, like you've only worked here for a few weeks. That's totally fine. Other people have worked longer and also ask like,
yeah, I feel like that's a
questions.
skill I need to brush up on as well. Just being able to like, you know, ask if this is okay. Because even for like a freelance job, even if you can't make a deadline, if you're just honest about like what's going on and how you can communicate that. I've been like lucky with my limited experience that they've been really kind about it, as long as you speak up and communicate your side. That's why communication is so important.
Yeah, because I feel like they understand that we're all human, and it's better to give them a heads up saying like a few weeks before the deadline, hey, I'm so sorry. I've been really stressed out. I thought I could do this, but I can't. And them being like, oh, okay. And they can rework their schedule like really fast, like more than like the day before the deadline being like, oh, I can't do it. Like that's not fair to them. And, you know, like I said, like it I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this, but like, there's no such thing as a stupid question, I guess. And just don't be afraid to reach out. Yeah. Don't be afraid to reach out to people. And I think those are skills that I'm glad I'm like trying to brush up on in retail. Cause I'm like, you know, someone asked about where the shoes were and I'm like, I should know this. And then the person who was working with me, she's like, oh yeah, it's over there. And I'm like, yeah, just ask. Yeah, but
that's true. What else are we gonna talk about?
I was like, there's this the job search, I guess.
That's a good summary of how it is.
Exactly that.
I know, it's just weird job hunting right now. Because to give context, Abby and I are literally fresh graduates. Yeah. So we graduated in May at the height of this COVID pandemic.
Yeah.
We literally like spent our last quarter of college not with our friends or anything. So it was just, it was a weird time.
That was sad.
And I don't know. It's like I have hopes for the job search, but I'm also like, oh.
I think
very uncertain.
Just, I don't know. It's just kind of disheartening because I have never gotten a test yet. So I feel like, I don't know. I'm like, I'm not even good enough apparently to get a test. So I don't know if I can even complain because I've seen like my friends like constantly getting tests and that looks so heartbreaking. And I'm like, oh man, I'm not even at that level. So I'm not even sure. And then you always feel inadequate, but you're always told, oh, you should still apply. And you do, of course, everyone, you should still apply, but it just feels, I don't know. I just chuck it into the void and I forget about it. I wish
that was me.
Yeah, I guess we're like, if for our viewers, like, which type of person are you? Are you me or Ariel? Because when I apply to a job, it's out of sight, it's out of mind. I have no hope. I just think I got rejected because I don't want to have any hope. I don't want to stress about it. So I even forget if I apply to something.
Even if I apply to something, even if I'm like, it's fine, whatever. There's always that voice in the back of my mind that's like, you apply to this job, you apply to this job, you apply. Yeah. It's always just reminding me. And then you get the emails like, sorry, we've got someone else. And you're like, oh, okay.
You either don't get an email at all or you get it 5 months
That's
later.
the worst thing. It's like when you don't hear back. I mean, but like, I understand, but at the same time, it's like, we've waited this long.
I guess
that's the least you can do.
That's why it's good, because I always forget if I apply to something. Sometimes I attempt to apply a position and then
that's
like,
true.
Oh, you've applied to this. I'm like, oh, okay.
Which ties back to like one of the questions we were talking about. Like, what's the worst job portal?
Oh God.
Design.
Name drop.
You can just describe it. Are we name dropping?
I don't know. I don't know how big this podcast is gonna be. And like if people from companies are gonna listen. But if we do name drop, I guess it's like, here's a critique to wow. I think the easiest job like application I ever had was Cartoon Network.
That's true.
Because like I feel like they don't really have openings that much, but when they do, it's on their like really pretty website. And it's like bam, 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 and I'm like, woo!
And it's quick. It's quick. That's the thing. I don't like the ones that have like 10 billion questions and I've answered, and it's on the same website and you've answered them before, and you're just like,
what software?
I have to answer this
in my resume. This is in my resume, boy. I think we talked about this, but the worst job question or job portal question is definitely was it
how much
salary? How much do you want to get paid?
Like starting salary? Yeah. I don't know anything.
Do I look like someone who knows how much I should get paid? Because we didn't get taught this really in school, and all this information is from friends. And I mean, the Animation Guild is a really good resource.
Yeah, but it's also still very confusing. Like I open it and I'm like, what am I looking at?
It's also hard when you get that question for a non-union project.
Yeah.
And again, we didn't get taught this at all. So I'm kind of like, I mean, I never have been part of a project, but Ariel has, and she's like, what should I get paid?
That's one thing I wish we were taught in school is, like, I guess the business side of being artists.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I feel like we didn't get much of that.
No, we got taught how to make business cards.
That's it. Yeah. Which, by the way, my business card is so cute this year, but because we're all in quarantine,
oh my gosh,
no one gets to see it.
Yeah.
I'm still petty.
Yeah. And then I don't know. That's another thing because my icon on Twitter is what I have for my business card.
Same.
Kind of, I don't know. I am going towards of not liking it as much anymore. I still like it, but I'm at this point where a lot of people know me because of that icon. So I'm like, I can't change.
Maybe you can just keep the colors.
That's true. We'll see.
I don't know what people know me for on social media, but
it's because on Discord I have this
yeah, I have the same icon.
Which is what you should do. You should keep your branding consistent so people can remember you. But yeah. I feel like I didn't pitch myself enough. Anyway, going back to me. This podcast is all over the place.
I know, this is the first episode, so whoever's listening to this, we're so sorry. This is just two friends.
No, don't be sorry. This is a no sorry zone. Again, we are confident in ourselves. You should be great. We're gracing you with our presence. This is so funny because when we announced the podcast, literally yesterday as we're recording this, everyone is like, yes, I'm so excited. And me reading all of these, I'm like, are you sure you want to sign up for this? I'm sweats nervously.
Are you sure?
I'm just you were like, congratulations. I'm like, thank you, but thanks. What did we do? We're just doing this dumb thing where we want to shout about our friends.
That's true. But yeah. Okay, pitch yourself. Go.
Anyway, I have to pitch myself more because my rap was really the worst. I'm not a musician, guys. But I also, more than just being a nice person, I think that my stories are very personal and, you know, they always relate to my experiences of like growing up, and like every single story I have in my portfolio has really, like the nosebleeds incident was related to me getting nosebleeds every day over the summer, and like the swept away one is me and my sisters. So I always really,
almost all your stories, like
literally every single one comes
all
from
about personal experience, which I think is so heartwarming, because even if they're like so personal to you, you manage to write and make them in a way that everyone can relate.
Yay. And that's why you should hire me.
That's why you should hire Miss Abigail Lee, story artist.
Because I can always put something of myself into anything I'm given. And yeah, and I feel like my writing, you know, always pulls from stuff like that. And I think having different perspectives like that, like me being Korean American, is really important, you know, in your production. So I feel like
that's something we both like try to bring into our work frequently, like you with your storyboards, and then me
definitely for you
designs, because like for me, a lot of my work, well, literally, like I would say like 90% of my work is inspired by my own culture, being Filipino, being Southeast Asian. And like, you know, because that's the only influence I literally know growing up. So that's the best I can pull. And I guess that's like one of my goals that's literally one of my biggest goals as a character designer, or a designer in general, is I don't want another kid or another person feeling left out when they watch something, because that's how I felt when I was growing up. So and
you should definitely hire us, because you shouldn't, like, shows shouldn't just have a Asian or Southeast Asian or whatever, Black or whatever person as the cover of the show, which is great, like, because we're seeing more diverse shows, but having none of that in the behind the scenes and like in the writing room. So you should hire us to add some spice to your production. And we also care
flavor.
we also care about this deeply. Like if you know us personally, you know that we've been advocating for this, like in our school and things like that. So if I don't know where I'm going with this, but just know that
just in general, I feel like
representation is really important to us.
Yes. Representation forever and ever.
Always.
We always talk about this. I feel like this always comes up in every discussion that we have, every call, every text. We're like, did you hear about this? What are your thoughts? And it's another thing about representation.
It's either positive, like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for the show because look at this. It's like, it looks like us, or blah, blah, blah. Or it's like, oh, this show is really cool, but there's like no one in the writing room who might be reflected in the show. So we kind of get a little disappointed with that. But yeah.
But that's the thing that kind of like, I don't know, worries me on my end, because I know when I get a job, it's not my stuff that I'm going to be drawing. It's like another person's vision.
Yeah.
So I'm also just like, that's why when like applying to jobs, they're like, we want to hear your personal voice. And I'm like, you know, it's like, it's been there for all the time.
I totally get that fear, because like you said, every single thing on my like every single board that I've done is from a personal experience. So I'm like, will I be able to make stories if it's like not really my personal thing?
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna worry about that too much.
That's true. At this point, just hire us.
Yeah, hire us.
That's the name of the podcast.
Hire us to find out.
That's the whole story. Oh my God, we've been talking for 30 minutes. I don't know where this is going.
But I mean, I guess we can talk about, like, this first episode is kind of introducing us as hosts and things like that, and like us
figuring out the ropes for this.
And also us advertising ourselves, but also we can talk about like what we're going to do with the podcast. Like every episode will be a different friend, and we'll be basically asking the same questions. It's going to be very casual and freeform, but yeah, I'm really excited. And that's why I was really surprised when so many people were like, yeah, let's listen, because it's just like, it was like,
literally
it's our friend.
Yeah.
We're not industry professionals.
Which makes me so shy about it, because I'm like, we're not even in the circle yet. And
we
we're
haven't
just
even
like,
broken
hello. We're literally in the Eric Andre video. Let me in.
Yeah, so it's like, that's why I joked about it, because I'm like, it's casual. Like, I don't know if anyone's going to care about me talking about my friends. So people, I think, really...
Little did you know.
I think they resonate with this concept as well, because a lot of people are really struggling with a job hunt. So just to, like, see a podcast where it's just, like, as a joke, and it's, like, a funny thing to...
Yeah, and just letting everyone else know that we feel you. It's a weird time right now.
Yeah.
So
I think we're gonna have solo episodes in the future talking about like the slump and like graduating in the midst of a pandemic.
Yeah, we have so many things to talk about. We talk about burnout. We talk about Well, again, we can have like a whole episode on how we feel about like being represented.
Yeah,
that's another thing.
That's
gonna be a long episode.
That might be a salty episode.
That's gonna be a long episode. But yeah, burnout, stress.
Haiku.
Okay. Well, hold on. So you don't understand.
Yes.
I can like write a whole TED talk on how much I love Hinata from Haikyuu.
Honestly, I'm so glad Ariel got into Haikyuu, and also like I feel like it's one of the few medias that really resonate with me and like with us, and like especially what we're going through. And we're gonna say that for the Haikyuu episode, but watch Haikyuu and read Haikyuu, guys.
Crying.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna start crying. It's beautiful. Are we really gonna have a Haikyuu episode? I think that would be funny. We should have Maria on here.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Maria, my sister, who's our producer. She's probably gonna kill us for saying it, because she's like, I'm not the producer, I'm not doing anything, but she's like keeping us on track. And
she won't acknowledge it, but she really is the producer.
Yeah, she also.
I won't have it any other way. I'm like, Maria, please.
We stand Maria. Yeah.
But yeah, what else can we talk about for the next?
We're really prepared for this first episode.
I know. Really. What you wrote something. It's like, what's the would you rather job edition?
Oh my gosh.
What did you think of that?
This was like a thing. I was like, I thought it would be a fun corner to have. Like, would you rather for each, like we have to think of a question for each guest. And for you, it was like, would you rather get into your dream studio that you've been wanting to work at for a while, but as a story revisionist, or get in taking like 2 years to break in to a smaller studio where you have to design chairs, prop designs for chairs.
I'd rather do the chairs. Like, I don't care if that, if that strengthens my portfolio, sure, go ahead. But I've told this to Abby so many times, and all my other friends who are story artists, like, I have so much respect for them. What they do is amazing. Guys, I don't have the patience to be a storyboard artist. I really can't. I was a fool. I thought I was going to be a board artist. I came into our screen design class like, maybe I'll like this. Oh my gosh, the patience and the amount of work you guys do.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to take the 2 years in a small studio.
Where you just design chairs.
Yeah, I'll take it. I can design chairs.
That's all. Just chariots. I when I was thinking of this question, I'm like, I'm pretty sure Ariel is not gonna choose the storyboard revisionist, even though it's like at her dream studio.
Yeah, even if it would be my dream studio.
I just know.
With like stable pay. Well, wait, hold on.
The money, though. The money. The small studio is non-union too.
Would they sponsor my visa?
They will. They will sponsor your visa, but the pay is like half.
It's okay. I'll take the chairs.
Oh my god.
I can budget. I can do this.
This is gonna be fun. I mean, it's gonna be fun brainstorming would you rather things for our guests. But
I want to ask you a question. What are things you don't like?
Think of one for me. See, this is why I told you to think of it last night, but I don't think you got what I meant.
Yeah, no, I didn't fully understand. I was like, what? But I can't think of anything. No, here's the thing, because like I feel like you're so prepared for like a bunch of stuff, and I'm also just like,
no, I know one like, for me.
Oh no, what are you going? Go.
I know at least one side, because I was gonna ask you this question. It was either gonna be the storyboard revisionist one, or would you rather getting into like into a character design production at your school at like a dream studio, but every time someone asks you about what your inspiration is or how you got there, you had to praise the B school. Which one would you choose to see, the storyboard revisionist in this one?
I feel like the character design one is like going against my principles.
Your face right now is just terror.
But like, why would they make me praise them though?
No, that's just like, would you rather
did
laws.
They do anything for me?
Girl, did you listen to the Tapo podcast? You can't question
like, did they do anything for me?
You're just programmed to praise them.
I would like rather cry trying to be a story revisionist and then
oh my gosh, their power.
Because here's the thing, if it's strategic like that, wait, where am I being a revisionist at
your dream studio?
Okay, if that's the thing, they already got me in. I'll try the job for like a year and I'll be like, hey, I actually really want to be in the art department. But
for the B school, you have to do it for the rest of your life, so that's why.
Goodbye.
No.
It's time to say goodbye.
Bye-bye.
I can't think of one for you. Like, would you?
You can use the B school too, because that's a difficult question.
That's true.
I'm gonna have to cut out a bunch of dead space, but
yeah, I know you guys are good, but then
that's fine. I can cut.
I know you would never choose the B school.
I mean, you can put B school and B school, maybe. You could do something with storyboarding club too, like something against I don't know.
But also, I want to ask something about like comics though, because you do comics.
Oh, that's true.
You're not just a board artist. You actually do like comics. Would you do a graphic novel if you had like the patience?
I don't know if maybe in the future, but I feel like my comics are not graphic level, right?
Teensy,
novel level, right?
Comics.
Yeah, they're like mini comics, and I don't really have a story that I want to tell right now, so like graphic novel style. But I'm not opposed to it. For a second, if you're listening, because I love your work. But yeah, once I get better at backgrounds, I'll consider it.
Backgrounds are essential.
Oh my god. You can do something off that.
Oh
like,
my god.
Dream.
Yeah, like what if you got like wait, okay, you have what does the revisionist do? I'm still confused like with their goals, the job goals.
Wait, what?
For a story revisionist. What do you do for that?
You have to like basically put things on model, fix perspective, put poses and stuff. Why are you smiling like that? I don't like this.
Because I know I'm like,
oh no.
She hates being on model.
oh no. You have to be a storyboard revisionist for like 10 years. I mean, just kidding. I want to be a storyboard revisionist. Cartoon Network, if you're listening, please hire me.
That's true. Hire Abby. But like, imagine that. So like cleaning up. So you're kind of
oh my gosh. Animation though.
Oh, what if you got into your dream studio, but then you had to do like cleanup or like stuff like that? Versus being like a board artist for a smaller studio.
Board artist for a smaller studio. Board artist for a smaller studio.
Abby and I are like, we went to school for animation, but we hate animation.
if any small studios are listening, hit me up.
But honestly, I remember your film from 2D production, and I still like that one. I think that was just so you.
Thanks. Like everything. I mean, I feel like cleanup can be relaxing, but I don't know.
It still takes a lot of brain power, honestly.
I do feel like once I like get into it, I'm pretty good at it. At least for my film, I was pretty on model, but it just took a while because I always struggle with being on model. Studios kind of just pretend you didn't hear that.
What if you only had to board on Photoshop for the rest of your life, and then you never had access to Storyboard Pro? How would you feel about that?
Versus what? What's the other thing?
Versus you, I don't know. Like, I just want to know what your feelings about that.
I need to know the verses. What am I going against?
Oh, then you get to board on Storyboard Pro, but then you get to praise the B school. Like, you're going to be like,
girl, I would rather do Photoshop. There's a lot of good tutorials. Bianca showed me how to use Photoshop to board.
Photoshop is fine.
I can just do it.
I speak this as a designer. I'm like, Photoshop is fine.
Anyway, I guess what you hear from us is never be a school. Never be a school.
Flash War flashbacks. They actually showcase this podcast on the animation.
I don't think they would.
So funny.
I would cry.
Anyway, but yeah. You should talk about storyboarding club because that you like pitch that. Okay, here's the thing about Abby. Like, if you're not gonna hire her as a storyboard artist, even though she really wants to be a board artist, hire her as a board artist first. She can be. She's a really good production manager as well. She's handled her film. She's handled running storyboarding club on top of senior film, and the fact about storyboarding club, she wasn't just like handling it. She was also running social media, and that's a whole job in itself. So she was able to do all of that like at the same time. And also, I think skills.
Also for you, because like you're always you're juggling commissions and freelance, and you had to juggle your film and also writing for the digital newspaper as well. Like, I'm like, girl, she working hard.
We just trying out here.
We love time management.
We're all just hustling.
Notion, if you're out there, want to sponsor.
Notion is really good. You know what? Let's give tips on time management because I feel like people don't. This is so hypocritical of me because sometimes I still like end up procrastinating and before the deadline I'm like, what is this? But like, yeah, Notion is really good if you're looking for like.
I feel like Ariel is the best with time management. If you need a character designer who is on top of things and with schedules and everything, like she always has her planner out and she always has her highlighters out and she has Notion. She has so many different things.
I have like Notion. I write a separate to-do list for the days and then I have my week.
It's crazy. I can't do planners that well. Like it's really hard for me to make a planner, but you're always so on top of it.
That's just the way my brain is programmed.
I feel like you'd be a good production manager too because of that. Like, Your organization skills are really, really good. also your graphic design skills. Like Ariel designed our podcast, beautiful image as well.
Graphic design is my passion.
Yes, so hire Ariel for any of that.
But yeah, I guess I'm also a real stickler about like file naming.
Yeah,
that's like my biggest pet peeve working with other people is when they don't follow like naming conventions. Oh, it makes everything so much easier if you just follow the same naming convention because you can search the files in an easier way.
Bentley ingrained that.
I know, yeah.
Shout out to
our professor, our sophomore rigging professor. He really like pushed us to keep the naming convention consistent, and it's never left my brain.
I feel like that's the only thing that stayed from rigging because that was a time.
I was crying in that class and Bentley's like, hey, so who's a 2D artist in this class? And like 4 of us raise our hand and then he's like, oh, good luck.
Good luck. I cried because of that class. Like
same. I cried in front of professor. I was just like,
it was rough.
Yeah, we are not meant to be 3D artists. We
Don't
should have some
for rigging.
3D people. Do we have 3D people? Possibly?
We should definitely line more 3D people up.
But I don't know enough.
We don't know a lot of 3D people.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah. How long have we been recording for?
It says 46 minutes on my thing.
Okay. Do you think that's good then? Are we good?
I think so. I mean, obviously we're going to edit this and then it's going to get shorter, but I think it'll be hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah. So this is the whole mess of the podcast.
Thank you so much for listening, and
it'll be more fun once we have like our
other
friends
to riff off of it.
Because yeah. Because also we want the show to revolve around them and not us. It's kind of awkward talking about yourself.
Yeah. we can hype up our friends. It's just hyping up. I think that's good though, practicing hyping up yourselves, because that's something we also want to do for our guests.
Beautiful.
Because making them hype themselves up, because they might not think it, but we're like, hey, you're amazing.
But yeah, we'll be talking to our friends about their art process, how they go about things, their skills.
Also, this is the format that it will be. It's a little messy, like, because it's our first podcast, but I think the only thing that's really going to change is having like corners of like the would you rather and the rap thing and like interview questions.
Yeah.
But it's going to just be this casual vibe. So
but yeah, and we definitely want to have those separate podcast episodes where we delve into deeper topics. Well, like it's just me and Abby, because I feel like that's a big basis of our friendship on its own. Yeah. So we're going to have that in. And the IQ episode. Yes. I mean, looking forward to that one. But. Yay! Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. You can follow us on our socials. Do you want to advertise yourself? Oh, I'm Yelly Draws on everything. So that's YELLIE Draws. DRAWS. That's where you can find her and hire her. Where you can find me and hire me. The sentence is at Abigail, EBBIGAL, with an underscore for Instagram. And my website is Abby Lee's, what? Abby? She doesn't know her website. Wait a minute. I'm going to type this in. Isn't it Abby Lee Story? Yeah, abbyleestory.com, where you can find my boards. Oh, I didn't say my website. My website is also yellydraws.com. And you can follow the podcast socials. It's all Hey Hire Us Pod on Twitter and Instagram. And we're going to put this on Spotify. I'll put it in the intro where we're putting this, but you can also email us for business inquiries at We're really putting this on our first if you want to sponsor us, because Ariel doesn't have a mic. I know. Donate to our Ko-Fi. I would like to apologize for the beginning because I don't have a mic, but you know, the quality of the content is more important than the quality of the audio. Yeah, so it's heyhireuspodcast@gmail.com. But yeah, thank you so much. Yay. We'll see you in the next episode.